This is what I remember from the prologue. This guy. When I came to, there were thick clouds overhead. At some point, they had dawned. I couldn't see a blue sky anywhere. It seemed dispiriting, an oppressive sky. Far away rang the noisy sirens of a number of ambulances and fire trucks. The shapes of helicopters circling high in the air came flying into my field of sight. There were an awful lot of them swooping around, almost like a swarm of flies. This is from Takemi's point of view, isn't it? My head throbbed, like road construction was being carried out inside my skull. It was a more severe pain than what I'd felt during the previous earthquake. I attempted to recall what had happened immediately before my memories died out. The whiteness of the sky, the word Shogun had shouted, the third melt. Tolerating my headache, I roused my body and was dumbstruck. This is the same as the prologue. The scenery I knew so well was gone. It was similar to the imagined spectacles of Y2K that had been all the rage about a decade ago, but thanks to Suzuha had never happened. Shibuya had collapsed. Traffic lights, roadside trees, a number of buildings, all lay fallen. The famous Jumbotron monitors around the pedestrian scramble were cracked in silence. The roof over the stairs descended to the subway had caved in, burying the entrance. The Yamanote Line's overhead railway had come crashing down, and the rails on the tracks had snapped. Many people lay everywhere. Blood and scraps of flesh clung to the wreckage. People who didn't do as much as twitch. People who moaned agonizingly. People who screamed help at the top of their lungs. People covered in dust, who crawled around with their entire bodies of pure white. People who held those lying and moving, and wept. The smell of blood, and the smell of like something burning, and the smell of dust hovered in the air. Somewhere distant, several plumes of black smoke rose like signal fires. This was the might of Naruto. I had chills. There was nothing to separate it from the weapon of mass destruction. I finally had a real sense of why Shogun had been so desperate to stop it. Speaking of which, what had become of Shogun 2? Shogun 2? Shogun? Going back to myself, I looked around. A twisted wheelchair had toppled over close beside me. Next to it lay his small body. Hastily dashing over, I pulled him up into my arms.
Oi! しっかりして!
He's probably already dead. Didn't react when I called to him. I couldn't hear his inner voice either. Surely he wasn't dead. Put my ear close to his mouth. He was breathing, albeit faintly. But he wasn't conscious. I tried lightly swatting him on the face and such, but he wouldn't wake up.
ノア2はどこにあるの?
Without knowing that, I couldn't so much as go to rescue Rimi and Nanami. I should have asked Shogun beforehand. Licking my tongue in irritation, I took my cell phone out of my pocket. I would be surprised if the cell receiving towers was still up. But it was out of power, and it remained unresponsive no matter how much I fiddled with it. It wouldn't do me any good. Was there anyone besides Shogun who seemed likely to know? Think about it. Got to think. You don't have time to dawdle. Will you falter like this? If Norsegai might kill the captive Remy on a whim. Who? Someone will probably become my ally. And who was well versed when it came to Naruto.
君たちは特別な存在だ。
Is that Senna's father?
中でも一番特別なのは、その目、誰の目を産み落とした少年。
畑野一世。
Senna's father, one of the initial members of Project Noah. His whereabouts were currently unknown. I never met him. No. He might have had a near miss. According to Gossipy, he appeared here and there in Shibuya, looking like a homeless person.
見つけるしかない。
I picked up Shogun's startling light body, carrying him on my back, and began cautiously walking through the ruins. I had no idea where Hanato-san was. Even so, all I could do for now was look for him. However light Shogun may have been, he was still around 20 kilograms. That's quite a lot to carry around. I didn't have the stamina to walk around Shibuya carrying him. Especially not with the road so jagged and uneven. Anyhow, there were no prior instances of me having gotten any proper exercise. Since sitting in front of my PC was my daily routine, I thought I ought to take Shogun to the hospital. It was Shibuya in this state. I doubted I'd be able to call up an ambulance. Throw me out just to climb the slightest rise of Dolmen Hill. This is where Nanami and Aise and Yua fell. I ran out of breath. A huge amount of sweat came pouring out all over me, rubbing the sweat off my forehead. The boss looked like my breathing. Then someone's faint voice came into my hearing. It was very lonely, but by no means on the brink of despair. The singing voice had comforted me. As I listened to it, I had heard the singing voice before. At the time, it had come from atop of a concert stage, in the midst of accessible lighting. It stimulated my sight, a deafening sound that seemed to shake the title place itself. I had heard her. But now, in the middle of the road, absent any human presence, in the midst of this one city governed by death, I heard her. Laying Shogun down where I stood, I surveyed the area, but in terms of human forms, all I could see were a number of corpses lying prone. Doing my best not to look at them, I searched for ISA. Where on earth had I heard him singing from? In front of me was a caved-in street. My usual opened its jaws there. If I remembered right, a subway ran beneath this road. While thinking to myself that it couldn't be, I tentatively looked down the edge of the hole. It was about 5 meters deep. That's the amount of small debris had piled up inside. As I lay fallen there, I hastily jumped down the hole. I messed up my landing, pretty much fell head over heels down into the wreckage. She's stuck on the rubble. Isa's leg was pinned in place by a huge hunk of concrete, and she couldn't move. I tried to somehow get it off her, but it was heavy. It would be impossible to take care of alone.
私だけじゃない。他に3人いるわ。君の妹も。
ナナミが
Why was she here? Wasn't she supposed to have been captured by that man called Norosei?
ナナミナナミ
Repressing my bodily pain, I got up and tried shouting, but no answer came. When I looked around, in addition to ISA, I saw a stout woman lying prostrate on her stomach, not moving. But she didn't seem to have any external injuries, so she probably just lost consciousness. I spotted neither an enemy nor the remaining person. It was possible that they'd been buried alive. I had to do something fast. I took a glance up at the hole. Dust flew around, enough to send me into a coughing fit. Beyond that was a circular cutout of the sky. Sinkhole. Possibly. I thought of Shogun, lying where I laid him on the road. I thought back over Rimi's words.
妄想をすればするほど本物のあなたの命が削られていっちゃうんだ。
When I couldn't let myself hesitate, I pulled my D-sword out of invisible space. I sat next to Isa, looking into her face in such a way as to avoid seeing her leg. I gazed only at her eyes. It was enough.
妄想するんだ
Powerfully.
綾瀬の足の上にある瓦礫は大きなものじゃない。数は多いけど一つ一つは小さい。
It's brilliant.
重くない。簡単に足を引っ張り出せる。
And the shared delusion becomes real.
他の二人も助け出せる。
Isa and I, we two Gigalomaniacs, achieved shared recognition. The delusion should become reality of its own accord. Suddenly, Isa smiled in what seemed like relief. Her fingers gently stroked me on the cheek.
グラジオールの導きね。君がここに来てくれたのは。
I temporarily raised my face. There's no time to be relieved yet. There are still others to save. The enormous chunk of concrete on top of Isa's leg had transformed into a bunch of tiny debris, just like in our delusion. Once we moved some of it out of the way, Isa could restore her leg. I certainly hadn't dreamed it go this well. Pushing herself up, broke her ankle. Luckily, she didn't appear to have any major injuries.
綾瀬の歌が聞こえたんだ。それに導かれたんだよ。
そう、よかった。歌い続けてきて。
As I lent Ayase a hand to help her stand up, I surveyed the area.
ナナミは
As before, I didn't see my little sister anywhere. Either delusion failed, or else was Nanami already? I grew anxious. I think it's a good thing. Wait a second. I was about to say it's a good thing to need two people to make a delusion real, otherwise bad thoughts and bad delusions would become real too. But that made me think of the moment when Ayase jumped from the school roof and Takumi realized that flower bad. Was that because the other people served that flower bed too? I heard a voice when I looked in the direction it had come from. I discovered a hand extending from the ruins. I seized that hand, its slender fingers, and peeked in through the ensuing gap.
Oh.
I don't know that crevice. Buried alive at the bottom of it was a familiar looking, glasses-wearing girl. It seemed like a long while had passed since the last time I'd seen her.
なぜか急にこの隙間ができて。
That's because Ayase and Takumi willed it so.
ついさっきまで全く身動きが取れなかったんですけど。
Said apologetically, averting her eyes from me.
手を
I gripped Yua's hand tighter and pulled as hard as I could in hopes of dragging her out through the crevice. Ayase helped as well. When the two of us pulled at Yua's hand with all our strength, he escaped the wreckage rather speedily. That's another one saved.
ありがとう。ご水。
All her body was covered in dust. Bits of concrete were stuck to her long hair, but Yua didn't seem to be injured either. They left only Nanami. Leaving Yua to Ayase, I searched for Nanami, considering the fact that Yua had been able to work herself free. My delusion must have taken effect well. If so, it should be possible to rescue Nanami from a crevice or something. Like Yua. As expected, when I looked around in a number of wreckage heaps, I saw Nanami's face in one of the cracks there.
ナナミ
I called to her, but Nanami didn't react. She appeared to be unconscious. I reached out a hand to touch Nanami's shoulder and momentarily hesitated. The form of Nanami, who I turned to particles yesterday and dissolved before my eyes, lifted across the back of my brain. No. This Nanami had to be the real Nanami. I took the plunge to grab Nanami's shoulder, her blouse. I succeeded in distinctly touching her. The warmth was there. I pulled her out with all my strength, in the same manner as I'd done with Yua. Like Ayase and Yua, Nanami wore bloodied clothes. Her arm in particular was pure red. For the time being, I laid her on her back and checked her breathing. It sounded painful, but she let out slight exhalations.
よかった
At this point, I was most worried about the condition of her blood-drenched right hand. When I tried to hold it, to examine it, my own hand passed through it. Illusionary hand? Nanami's right hand really had been.
ごめんごめん巻き込んで
I don't think there was anything you could do. Foam spills forth from Nanami's mouth. Her dust-coated face, and I softly brushed her on the cheek. Nanami's eyelids slitted open. Her line of sight wandered for a bit before her eyes took hold of me.
ナナミ
At instant, Nanami's expression crumbled, contorting. Great big tears overflowed from her. She clutched hard at my hand with the left hand. He murmured it, as if to cling to me, but I shook my head a little as I answered.
ナナミの本当のお兄は僕じゃないよ